Hello and welcome to the new edition of our Capital Call podcast series, where we speak with venture capital investors to understand the challenges that startups are facing today. As the economic pain continues to sustain as the world gets pushed deeper and deeper into recession, the VCs share their experiences and insights on how entrepreneurs can address these challenges. Today we have V. Balakrishnan, the founder, chairman, and general partner of Xfinity Ventures with us. The VC firm invests mostly in enterprise or B2B startups. Bala shares his insights from speaking with Xfinity portfolio of 24 startups. Hello Bala, welcome to Tech Circle podcast.
You have seen lockdown happening for the past 1.5, 2 months across the world, it to varying degrees. So, what is your what do you see in the market?
No, I think this crisis is much
Mhm.
bigger than the 2008 financial crisis, what you have seen.
Mhm.
There is a large amount of uncertainty and to some extent panic. But this is the first time you are having a health crisis coupled with a financial crisis. This is affecting the consumer tech business in a big way. Whether e-commerce or travel or hotel, all these new age companies are getting big time impacted. We had seen some slowdown in the startup funding in the Jan to March quarter. I think it has come down by 10%. If you remove the one big ticket to OYO funding, the rest of the funding has come down by 10% in the first quarter. And I think in the second quarter, you could see the funding coming into the startup space may come down further because investors are not able to meet clients, not able to travel, and there's a lot of uncertainty about the continuity of business for most of the startup companies. We had seen the funding environment becoming much more challenging. Of course, it started with WeWork. People started focusing more on unit metrics, profitability. They were wary about companies getting growth at any cost. But I think that has accelerated because of the COVID-19 epidemic, because nobody is sure about the sustainability of business model, sustainability of revenues, and the ability for companies to manage an environment like this. So we could see the Series A, Series B funding getting more impacted. Of course, the angel funding is still robust, but I don't know how long it will continue because seeing the destruction which happened in the secondary market and other asset class. But there are green shoots. I mean, last year, most of the India-focused fund raised close to $11 billion. So there's a lot of dry powder available. So if companies are available at a reasonable valuation, they could get funding. And also, if you look at data coming from China, it is a very interesting data because in February, I think the Chinese ecosystem raised close to $5 billion. Sorry, in February, it was $800 million. In March, it came back to $5 billion. That means if the companies are good, if their business model is good, the valuations are reasonable, still a lot of money coming into the ecosystem.
Do you think this is a moment where probably India needs to actually attract more foreign investments, especially Chinese, who are more than willing to participate in these funding rounds? Because, as you mentioned earlier, the secondary market in India, the people who have invested in large funds, the HNIs and Indian financial ecosystem will take a hit because of the stock market fall. So do you think we need capital because Indian funding, especially Indian GPs, are going to be even less to invest in startups at a volatile time in the market?
And adding it to that, the regulatory environment is not conducive in India. I mean, suddenly the government saying Chinese investments are not welcome. It's not a good sign for the startup ecosystem. A lot of Chinese money came into the startup ecosystem. Talk to any HNI or family funds in India. They're very comfortable with asset class like a public market where the liquidity is much more easier than asset class like a venture capital where the tail is long, right? So historically, the startup ecosystem in India had not attracted much capital domestically from India. there are very few domestic funds. Xfinity is one of it. We raise all the money from HNIs and domestic financial institutions, but not much money has come into the ecosystem. To some extent, that was offset by money coming from China. A lot of money came from the Chinese ecosystem into India in the last few years. And if that tap is closed, I think the funding environment for startups in India will become much more challenging.
Unlike other economic slowdowns, you don't know where the trough is. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when the economy is going to bounce back. I mean, it's coupled with a health crisis. So how do you as a fund, and what do you advise your portfolio startups?
See, typically, if you look at the startup companies today, there are three classes of companies. One, companies which have raised enough capital in the recent past, which are sitting with a lot of cash. Probably they will be able to manage the situation better because they won't have a liquidity crisis, right? Mm-hmm. Second, companies which have sufficient cash but not enough for a long runway. They can manage the short term if the disruption is 3 to 6 months. Beyond that, they will have a challenge, right? They can survive typically for 3 months, 6 months, but beyond that, if the lockdown is elongated or the economy does not improve, they will have a huge challenge of survival. Third set of companies who have not raised cash, who don't have enough cash, it will be much more challenging for them. It is a question of survival for them. So I think companies have to relook at their own business model, look at the cash they have, cut down all the expenses. Even if they have to take some tough calls, they have to take that. It is not going to be a yearly planning. It is going to be a monthly planning because it's a question of survival. So month by month, you have to focus on your business, see how much cash you have. If you are able to stretch your cash for, say, a runway of 12 months with cutting down expense and trying to become more reasonable on the cash spend or burn rate, I think those companies will be successful. Cash is not even king, it's God. If they survive this next 9 to 12 months, I think they'll all come out very much more successful once the economy recovers.
Could you just give us a brief idea about how are you running the day-to-day operations? I mean, how do you keep engaging with your portfolio? How do you, do troubleshooting, everything virtually? I mean, what do you do inside your fund?
No, I think the startup ecosystem is well versed in handling everything remotely. And they never got locked into a physical presence for the day-to-day work. So I think it has not made much difference. We have a good team internally. We talk to all our funds. In fact, immediately after the lockdown started, we had worked with all our portfolio companies. We created multiple scenarios of cash flow and business planning. And we made sure that most of our companies have a runway of 9 to 12 months. We worked closely with them to cut down expenses, to reduce overhead costs, to stretch the cash flow to 9 to 12 months. I think we are also luckier because most of our portfolio companies have raised cash just recently. So most of them have enough cash for a runway of 9 to 12 months. So and we also have a board position in most of the companies. So we work closely with them, and we also tell them new ideas, how to cope up with this, how to retain clients, how to create new business ideas. So I think the only way to navigate this period is get over this period with good planning and quick action. As I said, it's not a 1 year planning, it's a 12-year planning within a year. That means every month is a new year for startup companies.
Both you and Pai, the partners have seen, multiple financial crises across the world, whether it's, being part of a large enterprise, whether it's, the Y2K, the internet bust after the Y2K crisis, or the, 2008 financial crisis. So what are the important lessons that, you share with your portfolio companies?
No, three things. The first thing is cash. People don't understand the value of cash, because when you raise capital, you have a large responsibility to spend the cash in a more efficient way, because you have to assume if somebody gives you cash, you have to return the cash. So when you take cash from external investors, you have a higher degree of responsibility in managing that, right? So cash management is the most important thing at any point of time. You have to make sure that even if there is a black swan event like the COVID-19 happens, you have sufficient cash in the system to run your business for at least next 9 to 12 months, right? You have to plan for it.
Okay.
Second, I think you have to run your business in a more efficient way, like you run during a crisis, even in the normal times. Because if you take any company, normal times they always bloat up. They create much more overhead. They're very liberal in spending. So when the crisis happen, they try to figure out where to cut costs, how to cut flat. And that time it will become more painful, because you have to assume every 5 years there will be a crisis in the world, right? It is not going to go away. And now it is happening in a much shorter period, thinking that you are in a crisis period at all point of time. So that you will become more conscious about spending capital. And third, I think you have to get your unit metrics right. You can't run a business just to get growth without focusing on profitability. Profitability is very important for any company. Short term, you can take a hit, but if you're running a long term business with loss as a model and focus only on growth, those kind of model will not survive a black swan event like this COVID-19.
What's the kind of runway that you have, and I mean your portfolio startups have, and I mean, are you planning to do any inside rounds or bridge rounds so that or maybe even some cash just for them to survive? Or do you see your startups being more stable because most of them are SaaS companies and they have some annuity-based revenue streams? And
our fund we are a B2B focused company, right? Mm-hmm. So the impact on B2B companies is much lesser than the impact on consumer tech companies, because consumer tech companies have come to a standstill. There is no revenues at all, right? In B2B companies, because the customers are more comfortable working remotely and is SaaS model kind of stuff, the impact is much lesser than the consumer tech companies. Second, I think most of our portfolio companies has raised cash recently, and they also focused on cut down cost, and most of them have a runway of 9 to 12 months. If this crisis extends beyond 12 months, probably some of them will have a challenge in raising cash. We have to figure out what to do. But right now, if they are comfortable with the cash position of, say, for the next 12 months. Few companies have some challenges stretching their cash beyond 6 to 8 months. There, the business model is good. Their customer conscience are good. So we are looking at doing some internal bridge round for them along with other investors, so that they will have enough cash for 12 months. The good thing about B2B companies is they're not only focused on SME sector, they also have some large global clients too in the portfolio. So it's a mix of both. So when you do some kind of a scenario planning, you have to assume certain disruption in revenues, because your client's inability to continue the contract, or even if they continue to work with you, their ability to pay. So we do assume that kind of a reduction in revenues or some liquidity problem with the clients, and then work out the cash in the system and how to stretch it. So when we model it, we assume some kind of impact from the existing customers on the revenue side and also on the account receivable side, and then work out the cash flow. I think they're still better off even with that impact.
The larger startup ecosystem, we are seeing a lot of inside rounds. Do you see these rounds are actually a good idea? Because some of these probably are happening at discount or the same valuation. So how are these companies coping with those conditions? Do you think it's a fair idea, good idea to go for these at this juncture?
I think this is a good thing, because it will be difficult for you to get a new investor to come and do the due diligence and invest in the companies in an uncertain environment like this, because you yourself don't know how long this uncertainty is going to continue and what kind of impact it is going to have on your business. For you to get a new investor, convince him and make him invest at a higher price round is going to be very difficult, right? And also, as I said, investors want to meet the companies, get comfortable on the founders. Their personal touch is more important. That is not going to happen now. So it is not a bad idea to talk to your internal investors, to your existing investors, and try to do a bridge round or an internal round. Of course, valuation could be a challenge, that it could be a discount to the current valuation, or you can price it with a discount to the future valuation. Both can happen. For an entrepreneur, you should understand survival is the most important thing in an environment like this, not the valuation, right?
Okay.
Second, your holding is not important. Your holding may be a small part in a larger pie, but if you survive this uncertain environment and if you become successful, the value of a whole pie will increase. So your smaller part of your pie will become much more valuable than what you think today. So I think founders should not more worry about the valuation at this point of time. They should more worry about the survival. An internal round is not a bad idea at this point of time, considering what is happening in the environment.
Have all these portfolio companies need to tweak their products so that, then companies come out of this crisis, they have newer products that can probably, retune according to the changed environment, demand conditions and all that?
Yeah. Some of them were using this time to build whatever enhancements they had to do to attract new customers. And some of our portfolio companies have built product that were supposed to launch. This lockdown happened. So probably they have enough time to fine tune that. And when the market opens, they'll be in a better position to get the customers.
Thanks a lot, Bala, for your valuable time and sharing your perspectives on how to navigate the pandemic hit startup ecosystem. That's all from our side in this episode of Capital Call, which airs every weekend. Keep listening. Thanks again for listening to us.